Excellency, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for attending to our side event. We're going to discuss about the parental child abduction cited by the evil Japanese lawyers and the corrupted judges in the Japanese judicial system. This is also creating international criticism against Japan, referred as child kidnapping states, especially from the US Congress, French Congress, and EU member nations. Japan ratified the Hague Convention on the civil aspect of international child abduction, as well as the United Nations Convention on the Rights of Child. However, due to the huge difference between the Japanese domestic laws and these treaties, we are urging the Japanese government to take necessary measures as soon as possible. Now, we have two gentlemen from Japan, and I give the floor to the distinguished gentleman, Mr. Yosuke Sumi. You have the floor, please. And he will speak in Japanese, so I will interpret it into English.
こんにちは。私は、日本から来ました鈴木陽介と申します。本日は私どもの、ためにお集まりいただき誠にありがとうございます。私は昨年末、児童の権利委員会に意見書を提出した一人の娘を持つ父親です。
I'm a father of a daughter who submitted a statement to their CLC meeting held last December.
児童の権利委員会は日本国に対して、総括処刑において離婚後も共同養育に法改正をする勧告をいたしました。これに我々は感謝しています。
CRC announced recommendations in their concluding observation to devise the relevant laws to allow joint custody after divorce, which we appreciated very much.
私の娘は来月で7歳になります。連れ去られて4年半、1642日の月日が経ちました。
My daughter becomes 7 years old next month. It has passed 1,640 days, which is 4.5 years after abducted by her mother from our house.
この間で私が娘と会えた時間を日数で表しますと3日と15時間です。
During this 4.5 years time, I only could see my daughter 3 days and 15 hours.
つまり1年間で1日以下の時間しか会うことを認められなかったということです。ですが、日本で私は子供に会えるラッキーな父親と言われています。
This means I'm only permitted to see my daughter less than 1 day in a year. However, people said to me that you are the lucky guy.
日本では1年間で数時間を子供と過ごせればラッキーなのです。
It is considered as a lucky father if the father can spend a couple of hours in a year with the kid.
皆さんはどのようにお感じになるでしょうか。
How do you feel this situation?
それほど日本では別居する子供と親が会うことは至難のことなのです。
It's really a hard work to non-custodial parents to see their child.
なぜそんなことになるのか。
Why is this happening?
今から私の事件のあらましを簡単にご説明いたしますのでお聞きください。
I will explain to you what I experienced briefly.
4年半前の10月、会社から帰宅すると妻と子供がいなくなっていました。
October 4.5 years ago, I found my wife and daughter has disappeared from my house.
離婚したいという妻のお手紙だけがありました。
Then I found a letter stating that she wants to divorce.
そして翌日には妻の弁護士と裁判所から離婚調停の連絡がありました。
Very next day of the disappearance, I received a letter stating about the divorce mediation from a lawyer as well as the courthouse.
この手際の良さから計画的な弁護士による犯行であることがお分かりいただけると思います。
The finish of this, you can easily understand that it is pre-planned and decided by the lawyer.
私は突然の出来事に何があったか理解できる途方に暮れました。
I was in a maze because all of a sudden that event occurred, which was totally incomprehensible for me.
そして警察に相談に行きましたが、母親が子供を連れ去る場合は誘拐にはならない。あなたが探して連れ戻したら誘拐罪として逮捕すると言われました。 抗議をしても一切受け付けてもらえません。
Then I went to the police station, but the cops said in case if a mother abducted a child, it is not considered as a child abduction, but if you look for them and try to get the child back to your home, you will be arrested by their charge of the abduction of minor. Even I protested against them, they did not listen to me.
後で知りましたが、このような警察の対応は日本では一般的に行われています。
I came to know later on that this correspondence is quite normal.
つまり先に子供を連れ去った方が有利になるのです。
Thus, parents who abducted the child first can gain a great advantage.
そして妻の弁護士は裁判所に実際にはなかった妻への DV を訴えました。
Then her lawyer claimed domestic violence to the court, which had not actually happened.
日本では DV の定義は曖昧です。
The definition of the domestic violence is obscure in Japan.
被害者として妻が訴えれば、証拠がなくても夫は加害者として扱われてしまいます。
If the wife claims domestic violence, husband is found guilty without any evidence automatically.
その後は悪魔の証明をしなくてはなりません。
After that, I needed to do devil proof.
やっていないことの証明なのです。
I needed to prove which I did not do.
このように日本では訴えられれば犯人扱いされてしまいます。
In Japan, as this, the person who are claimed domestic violence is treated as a criminal automatically.
このことは日産ルノー CEO カルロス・ゴーン氏の事件でも皆さんはお分かりだと思います。
You can understand this very easily from the recent incident with Mr. Carlos Ghosn, CEO of Nissan Renault.
日本は法律上は推定無罪となっていますが、実際の運用は推定有罪です。
According to the Japanese law, normally presumption of innocence is applied. However, the real operation is presumption of guilty.
地位と名誉のあるゴーン氏でも訴えられれば犯人扱いされてしまいます。
Even Mr. Ghosn, who has a status and honor, social status and honor, is treated as a criminal if prosecuted.
私たちのような一般市民は必ず犯人として扱われます。
As a general citizen, we are treated as criminal.
相手弁護士はそれが分かっているので虚偽 DV を訴えます。
My wife's lawyer knew it, so sued me with false accusation of domestic violence.
私の場合はモラルハラスメントとして訴えられました。
In my case, I was sued by moral harassment against my wife.
妻と
By my wife, I'm sorry.
妻との会話で不機嫌な顔をした、目を大きく見開いてみたということがハラスメントだという訴えです。
The reason of the harassment she claimed is my face was unhappy, opened eyes widely, which were considered as moral harassment. That's it.
妻は恐怖を感じたと訴えました。
My wife also claimed that she was scared.
それだけで私は加害者として扱われてしまいました。
Only by this reason I was treated as offender.
会話中の私の表情が怖いと言われただけです。私にはどうしようもない出来事です。
She claimed my face was prolific while discussing something, which I cannot do anything.
このような理由でも怖いと訴えられれば加害者と認定するのが日本の司法です。
If woman claims I was scared, then the Japanese judiciary acknowledged me as offender.
このように DV に関わる法律の扱いで推定有罪として扱う行為は我々の子どもの問題でだけなく、まさに人権無視をする日本の司法の問題だと思います。
As I explained, the operation of the law related to the domestic violence, which they handle based on presumption of guilty, which is ignoring the human rights, but the serious problem of the Japanese judicial system.
その後、半年以上家庭裁判所で話し合いをしましたが、全く子どもと会わせてもらえませんでした。
After that, I discussed at the family court more than 6 months. Still, I could not see my daughter.
8ヶ月が経って30分間のみ裁判所での中で思考的面会という形で会うことができました。娘は3歳になっていました。
Spending 8 months, I finally could see my daughter only 30 minutes as an experimental trial. At this point, my daughter has already become 3 years old.
思考的面会は日本の裁判所内で行われる親子関係を確認する面会です。
The experimental trial of family visiting with the children is to check the relationship between non-custodial parent and children.
裁判所の中の小さな部屋に子供と2人で30分間過ごさせ、その様子を見ながら過ごしに調査官や弁護士が観察します。
An investigator, wife and the lawyer are watching the scene through one-way mirror, while I myself, my daughter, and an investigator are in a small room in the courthouse. Also, they are recording the scene by video camera.
まるで動物実験や刑事の取り調べと同じです。ここに私と娘の人権はありません。
It is just like an animal experiment or criminal interrogation. There is no human rights exist in the scene.
この時の様子を調査官が報告書として裁判官に提出し、その内容で子供と面会が決められてしまいます。
The investigator writes a report and submit to the judge. Then judge make a ruling how often the parents and child can see each other and how many hours.
父親が娘に会えた嬉しさで涙を流すことは許されません。子供に不安を与えると評価されるからです。
It's not permitted to show tears in front of the child at the child visiting at the courthouse because it is considered to put the child perturbed.
さらに子供が少しでも嫌がれば面会するべきではないという報告書になり、面会は絶望的になるのです。
If the child said anything negative, even small thing negative, the report will suggest the child should not meet with non-custodial parent, then becomes desperate situation.
たとえ8ヶ月でも断絶し、父親の思い出が薄れた3歳の幼児の反応でもです。
Even it is a reaction from the 3 years old child after separated 8 months who illness their memories.